What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we got some exciting news as undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who is 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 26 big wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. He just informed the world that he's checking out from social media and he's going down under, right? And he's going to lock in now from now on until April 15th when he fights in the highly anticipated lightweight catchweight showdown between himself and undefeated lightweight, junior welterweight, Mexican superstar title contender, King Ryan Garcia, who is 23 wins, no loss, no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. April 15th, so Gervonta Tank Davis, he takes to social media and he lets the world know he's shutting it down and he's going to focus now on Ryan Garcia. So Tank, he said, time to get back to work. Enjoy myself up until this time. See y'all in a couple of months. Peace. So he's letting it be known that he's now going to focus on this fight with Ryan Garcia, April 15th. This is huge news, and there's expectations that we could possibly get the announcement for this fight tomorrow. Okay, Gervonta Tank Davis is seen, entering a hotel with his team and, locking in for training camp. And some of the fighters that he promotes with GTD Promotions, Gervonta Tank Davis Promotions, and some of the fighters that's going to be on the undercard. It's going to be an exciting night. Expecting this fight to take place in Las Vegas. I know many people, including Showtime President of Sports, Stephen Espinosa, they were waiting to clear. Gervonta Tank Davis had a court date this past Thursday, that he got everything squared away. He gets sentenced May 5th. Okay, with that said, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia is a highly anticipated, expected fight in the sport of boxing. It could do big numbers in the sport of boxing. Again, I can't reiterate this enough. There's people that are telling the world that Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia are going to break pay-per-view records. In order to do that, there's only two guys at the top of that pay-per-view record tier, and that's Iron Mike Tyson, legendary Hall of Fame, iconic superstar boxer, and one Floyd Mayweather Jr., okay? They hold all the records for pay-per-views. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones just did, I believe, 1.6 million pay-per-views. To smash those numbers, you would have to turn back the hands of time, okay? Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao did 4.6 million pay-per-view buys. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor did 4.4 million pay-per-view buys. Those are extraordinary numbers, okay? Those are some very, very big numbers and very big shoes to attempt to fill. Now, I would love Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia to break pay-per-view numbers. That means they only elevate in the sport of boxing if they were to do that, okay? So I would love Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia to break pay-per-view numbers. It's just not realistic, okay? So with that said, there's so many different, ways and avenues to be able to stream and watch these fights today's time. It's very, very difficult to be able to live up to that record-breaking pay-per-view numbers, okay? Now, they could do gates, big gates, because it's an event and people are going to show up. I believe that people are going to show up. It's an event, and I believe that people are going to show up to the event, okay? So I can see, them doing a massive gate. I know Gervonta Tank Davis, he's known to do big pay-per-view gates. He did a big pay-per-view record gate when he fought Rolly Romero in May of 2022 at the Barclays Center. It holds the record for a boxing event. The live gate, $5 million gate. Then his last fight, the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., it did more record-breaking numbers. It did reported $5.1 to $5.2 million gate. So it's doing enormous gates, very big gates, right? I mean, Gervonta Tank Davis does. And he sells out the arena. So it's an event that people like to go to more so than people like to sit home and watch. You understand? They like to be there in person and experience the atmosphere. Today's time, people, if they have the opportunity to choose between streaming it and watching it for free or paying $80 plus on top of your monthly subscription, you're already paying a monthly subscription for Showtime, and now you're going to have to pay another additional $80, right? You save your subscription, your monthly cable bill is $150, and then you tack on another $80. Now you're talking about $230. That's a ticket. That's a ticket to the fight, right? You can see it live in person for $230, right? So because of that, people have the option. I don't have to pay the ticket prices at the gate, and I don't have to pay to watch it on TV. I can watch it with no interruptions for free. People are going to take that avenue, the piracy. Until there's a way to be able to combat the piracy within the sport of boxing, pay-per-view records will stand as they are, okay? Floyd Mayweather numbers are not in jeopardy of being broken. Neither is Mike Tyson's pay-per-view numbers. And the last of the 10 is Evander Holyfield versus George Foreman. That's not in jeopardy of being broken. You understand? It's just a different time in the sport of boxing and sports overall, okay? Fans are not willing to pay big money, especially since the sport of boxing is not consistent with putting on big fights, okay? If the sport of boxing was consistent with putting on big fights, then, you know, it may be, you know, they may be on to something. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones did 1.6 million pay-per-view buys, okay? Mike Tyson and Roy Jones did that. And that's number 9, okay? That's at number 9. At number 10, Evander Holyfield and George Foreman did 1.4 million pay-per-views. That's the 10th highest pay-per-view in the history of the sport of boxing. Okay, like I said, Floyd and Manny did 4.6. So the number that they would be threatening to break, to get into, it's not going to break a record. But the number that if they were looking to get into a record, into the books, would be George Foreman and Evander Holyfield that took place in April of 1991. Let me say this to y'all again. 1.4 million pay-per-view buys was George Foreman versus Evander Holyfield that still stands as one of the top 10. And that took place in 1991. That's 32 years ago, people. That's 32 years ago. You know how many fighters came and went in between that time that were superstars, like Roy Jones Jr.? Just think about that. This took place in 1991. That's 32 years ago, right? And that's a record that still stands. That's a record that still stands. Why? Because people don't want to pay for these pay-per-views. 1.4 million pay-per-views is not undoable. Floyd Mayweather is up here versus Manny Pacquiao, then versus Conor McGregor, then Canelo Alvarez, then Oscar De La Hoya, then Miguel Cotto. Mike Tyson is up there with Roy Jones, Peter McNeely, Lennox Lewis. You understand? So that's a record. That's a 32-year-old record. And that's just to get in the top 10. Let me say it to you again. That's a 32-year-old standing record. And that's just to get to crack into the top 10. They would need to do, it did 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. 1.450, right? So they would need to do 1.5 just to get in the top 10. Gervonta Tank Davis' highest pay-per-view is 275,000 people. That's not a knock on Gervonta Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia. It's a knock on the fans. and the sport of boxing itself. But people just don't want to pay for it. If people show up to Tank Davis's fights in drones so he break records at the gates, well, that tells you it's out of his hands on pay-per-view on TV. Because we know that the demand to see him is very high, because he wouldn't be breaking gate records in multiple different places if people didn't want to watch him. It's just that if they could watch him for free on TV, they would rather take that route. But this is great news. Gervonta Tank Davis is 1,000% focused on Ryan Garcia. It's the toughest fight of his career because the expectations and the size and the hand speed and the power of Ryan Garcia, but the experience is not there. And this is a tough assignment for Ryan Garcia, but he wanted this fight. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. I can't wait. Gervonta Tank Davis says he's locking in, going down under, leaving social media until he's done. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.